Hey team, so the question for this week is how long until my periods come back? And I loved this question because this is actually, the answer is fantastic. It can often be as quick as a month of implementing the changes to fix kind of your root cause. And I see this time and time again in the women that are going through the PCOS protocol, my 16-week program, is that within, we do the Sunday Success every Sunday where I get them to talk about what's gone well for them that week. And within literally a month, we often see people saying, I haven't had a period in 2 years, and now I've got one within a month of making these changes. So, and we even had one pregnancy within like 6 weeks on the protocol this time, which was incredible as well. So it always astounds me how quickly this comes back. And that's because when we think about it, the two main things our body wants to do all of the time is survive and reproduce. Okay, so if there's one thing it's going to fix, it's the reproduction after we kind of make sure that we're going to be able to survive. So the reason that it comes back so quickly is when we can actually fix that root cause or the root causes or underlying things, basically when we think about that, it's like what's going on in the body that's kind of out of balance. And once we balance that, then your body's like, yay, now I can bring a baby into this world. So for most of us, up to 80% of us, that is fixing our blood glucose and our insulin. And this is what I see most of the time that's stopping you from getting your period. So if you actually address that and bring your blood glucose down, and we do that through giving you the right kind of diet. So specifically, I'd say it's about reducing the amount of sugar and things in your diet as well, can be one of the really important things. Secondly, giving you the right type of exercise. That's going to help to bring that blood glucose down. And there I talk a lot in the article that I've written about the best exercise for PCOS. I talk about strength training and how that can be really effective bringing blood glucose down. We also talk about we can use some supplements to help with that as well. And then also stress management is a really big piece, and sleep. So sleep is incredibly important, and one thing that's so often overlooked in our fast-paced now environment is that we often forget that our bodies need sleep. And research has shown that less than 6 hours sleep a night actually reduces our insulin sensitivity by 30%, so a whole third. So we could do everything like good in terms of our diet and exercise and supplements, but if we're not getting enough sleep, then that's seriously going to wipe out all that good work that you're doing with the other things. So if there was one thing that I would say that is really easy to implement now is actually getting more sleep. And by that I mean as much as your body needs to wake up naturally. So for you at the moment, that might be 9 hours. For me, when I was really in the depths of my body being really out of balance, it was about 9.5 hours for a while, for up to a couple of months. And then it kind of started to come right and it was back down. So now it's more like 8, 7.5 sometimes. But for a while, it was sort of up to 9.5. So while we often think about, diet and exercise, one thing that is often forgotten about is sleep. And that is one of the easiest things to correct and one of the best things that we can do to actually improve our blood glucose, improve our stress hormones, because if we're getting more sleep, then we'll be more resilient to deal with some of that stress. And also just in terms of making us feel good and not craving those simple carbohydrates and sugars, because as well as the research showing that it reduces your insulin sensitivity by 30%, it also shows that it makes you crave sugar and simple kind of carbohydrates like bread and pasta and those kind of stuff. So that's what getting a good sleep can do for us, or what a poor sleep can do for us, is it makes us crave those sugars. So this week, what I want you to really focus on is looking at being really realistic with yourself. How much sleep are you getting? And are you waking up feeling refreshed? Are you waking up naturally? Or if not, then what can you do to make sure you're getting more sleep to help your blood glucose and help your stress hormones to then help you ovulate again?